G'day Toowoomba, welcome to today's show, and a big shout out to Kim Stokes Communications. We're here today at the Toowoomba Wellcamp Airport, and I've got a very, very special guest thanks to Kim Stokes Communication. On today's show, I've got the incredible Ben Felten. We're going to have a talk about his riding a motorcycle really, really fast over the salt plains of Lake Eyre. Stay tuned after the promo. G'day, welcome back to the show. Darren Wilkinson, Toowoomba Advocate. I'm very, very honoured today to meet Ben Felten. How are you, Ben?
Excellent, thank you, Darryl.
Good. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
This is take two. What people love about 43580 TV, it's just so natural. I've read your bio, I've watched Sunday night program, and I saw Karen. You asked Karen to marry you. I had a tear in my eye when I was watching that. And I was watching when you were getting set up with a ride with Magoo.
Yeah.
Funny how you have a guy guiding you named Magoo.
Yeah. Ironic, isn't it?
But how did you feel when that American lady had lost control of that car and then you were up next?
Valerie Thompson, in the Streamliner, yes.
Yep.
Well, she got up to a speed of 553 kilometres per hour.
Wow.
Before she made too much of an aggressive turn, and the bike slid out, and then it just flew into the air like an aircraft.
Yep.
And crashed, hit the ground and bounced up, and
Amazing.
Valerie walked away from that crash at 553 kilometres an hour. How did I feel? We knew that the pressure was on. You know, we knew that what we were doing was extremely risky, and we knew that we had to, and the wind was picking up.
Yep.
And we just, the pressure was on, and we knew that we had a very small window of opportunity, and if we didn't get it right the first time. So pressure, fear,
Yep.
all of those, you know, thoughts go through your mind.
What brings you to Toowoomba today? Can you tell us why you're
Yeah,
here?
I actually, over time, have got to make a lot of friends up this way, and you know, Toowoomba is a really interesting place. It's growing, it's going places, and I met some amazing people who do great things all over Australia, and so through those contacts, I've been invited up here, and so I'm going to meet today with you know, some business colleagues up here. I wanted to come and have a look at the Wellcamp Airport, and also I'm going to drop by council as well.
Okay, right.
Yeah, because I've got a bit of a background in disability advocacy work. I've worked, well, before becoming a motorcycle racer, I was Penrith City Council's Disability Access Officer for 12 years.
Yep.
And I also worked for the New South Wales Department of Premiers and Cabinet as an advisor. So very passionate about disability advocacy, about creating inclusive communities, and that's one of the reasons why I'm up here today. I've got an opportunity to talk to some people about that.
Right. We just met Rob Cash. What a name to have a business manager at an airport. Rob Cash.
Yeah, oh, it's a great name, isn't it?
He's an interesting gentleman. He's talking about the progress of Toowoomba and what's happening.
He was very passionate about it, wasn't he?
He was.
Really passionate about that, and he can see the growth and the development and the potential that's out here. You know, it's great to see people embracing that and really, you know, making the most of their opportunities.
And we are reaching the world. There's 747 comes in once a week, takes beef overseas, and Russell Mineral Equipment have just scored a contract to get mining equipment taken overseas on a jumbo as well. So Toowoomba is reaching out to the world. So there's definite progress happening there.
Things.
Your journey with your vision, it all started at 15 when you started to have some vision problems, and where did your journey go, and what age did you totally lose your vision?
So at 15 and a half, I actually was fully sighted, riding a motorbike down a fire trail, went under a canopy of trees. It was at night time without a headlight, of course. And when I couldn't see because the moonlight was blocked by the trees, off the track, hit a tree, had an open face helmet on, broke my nose, had concussion, off to the doctors, and the doctor noticed some pigment in the back of my eyes when they're looking for concussion, signs of concussion, and so I got a referral to Sydney Eye Hospital. So by I was 15 and a half, I just passed the entrance exam to join the Australian Navy, wanted to do marine engineering, and then I get a diagnosis that I've got retinitis pigmentosa, and they told me I'm going to go blind one day. It could happen next week, next month, or in years to come, and you know, all my hopes and dreams were dashed. So that was 15 and a half. I continued to ride and drive. Now again, I had perfect central vision, you know, And I continued to ride and get my car license and do all the normal things until I was 25. And at that stage there, Daryl, my eyesight had gradually was shrinking from the outside in.
Yep.
And at the age of 32, one day my left eye just couldn't see anything out of it. And then one morning, I woke up, I was 37 years old, and I heard the birds chirping, and I thought, oh, it must be time to get out of bed. So I've jumped out of bed, and I've opened the curtains and looked out the window and went, oh, it's dark outside.
Yeah, right.
I better go back to bed. So I closed the curtains, laid in bed, and I heard the birds chirping, and I went, oh, hang on a minute. So I got up and opened the curtains, and it's still dark, and then I put my face up against the window. I can feel the heat of the sun on my face, and I realised it had finally happened. So Daryl, 37, and I'm black in both eyes. I have no vision at all.
Okay. And during that struggle from 15 to 37, you struggled with alcohol and depression.
Absolutely, yeah.
And was that the epiphany, do you think, when you became blind, that it changed your life?
Look, it's a process, right? Obviously, at the point of diagnosis at a young age, it's normal for any person to go through, denial and frustration, which then leads to sort of more anger, and no one wants to go blind. Your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, you can't see the way ahead. I didn't know what it was going to be like to be a blind person, so I feared the worst. And of course, I then coping mechanisms for me were drugs and alcohol, and that'll take out frustration on some poor guy at the pub once I've had anything, and that led to another thing, and so I got to a point in my life which I'd say I hit the bottom, hit the darkest depths of a place I never want to go to again, and that was the epiphany when I realised then that this life I was leading was a slippery slope into darkness, and I needed hope. And I needed to start looking for a future, and that was the turning point for me. And it was like a light switch. It was a change in my attitude, Gerald. The attitude was, your life is a journey, and often every person has barriers in their way. And for me, I guess a barrier was a stumbling block. But I realise now that when I look at a barrier, I see them as a stepping stone. Yeah. And it's just a switch in an attitude. But for me to come to that point, I did I suffered a lot and understand, experienced a lot. And that's why I'm passionate about, creating positive community attitudes towards people with disability. And I want to, and I'm very passionate about my charity, Insight of Dreams, and supporting people going with an acquired disability going through that traumatic point in their life.
Okay, in wrapping up, I really do want to thank you again for being on my show. What message have you got for anyone that's really struggling with a disability?
When you're ready, go out and seek support. Right? I was a young man full of pride, and I found it very hard to come to terms with it. But I came to a point where it nearly broke me, and that's when I realised that I needed to go and seek help, seek support, and open up doors of opportunity. So I'd encourage you to get out there and do something about it. Take control of your destiny and live your life to the fullest.
That's good advice there, Toowoomba, and I can tell you what, this community has some very good groups that can help you with any sort of problem that you have. So you just got to reach out.
Of course you do.
And admit it yourself.
Look, that's always a difficult thing to do, but I'm proud of who I am, and my blindness, Daryl. If I didn't go blind, I wouldn't have travelled the world. I wouldn't have been able to row for Australia and win world championships. I wouldn't have played blind cricket and Ashes tours and play cricket at Lords. And the story goes on, and race motorcycles, on the lands. Daryl, my blindness has been a blessing, and you have to learn to harness, who you are and what you've got.
Yep, that's great.
Daryl, and it's if I can say to anyone out here in Toowoomba, get out there, make the most of life. You only got one go at it.
That's great. Look, thanks for coming on the show today. And Ben's going to wrap this up with this one. Toowoomba 4350 TV, it's
awesome.
More than just a postcode.
More than just a postcode. You're dead right. More than 4350. More than just a postcode.
Great. Mate, thanks for coming on the show today. I really do appreciate it.
Darryl.
Take care, hey?
Yeah, we'll do.
See you, Toowoomba.